Hello everyone and welcome to yet another recreational programming session with Mr. Azuzin. So today I want you to take a look at a very interesting thing that is called PyPy. It's a Python interpreter that is somehow implemented in itself. So if you know anything about software development and specifically programming languages and how programming languages work, it sounds really weird at first because Python is an interpreted language. Right. So an interpreted language is basically an interpreter, a separate program that reads the source code of your program, and instead of turning that source code into another program, it just acts like the program that is described. You know what I'm talking about? Right. Instead of creating a new program, it just looks at the description of what it needs to do and acts like that program. It's called being interpreted. Right. And if you write in Python in itself, how the fuck do you even do that? Right. So you have an interpreter, then you have the source code of your Python interpreter, you interpreting the source code of the Python interpreter to interpret the Python code. Like, what the fuck is that? Are you fucking crazy? And on top of that, PyPy is prides itself being faster than Python. So you have an interpreted language implemented to interpreted language that prides itself as being faster than the original. What the fuck is going on in here? Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, when you read about this stuff, it's just like, it's crazy. It's nuts. How the fuck do you even do that? It looks like a meme. And no wonder nobody takes it seriously, by the way, but that's besides the point. So the cool thing they did, they introduced actually RPython. RPython is a subset of Python that is small and compact enough that it is translatable to C. But since it's a subset, the code written in RPython is still interpreted by the full Python compiler. You see what they did? You see what they did? They have a limited version of Python, right? And the entire interpreter implemented in that limited Python. You can interpret it with real Python interpreter, and then they have a separate analyzer and translator that analyzes that code in limited Python and turns it into C and compiles it. So that's what they did. So it's funny, like you may argue, okay, it's not Python implemented in Python, it's actually Python implemented in RPython. But RPython is a subset, and since it is interpreted by Python, it is technically Python. So it is Python implemented in Python. Isn't that fascinating? That's fucking fascinating. So, and this is what made me to actually, check this entire thing, right? I'm really curious. I used PyPy before. I actually used PyPy before, but I never looked inside of it. Right, and what I want you to do today, I want you to fucking look inside of it. Like, how the fuck did they do that? Can we write like actual programs in RPython? Can RPython replace C? That's a very good question, right? So if RPython is this limited subset of Python, can we just use it instead of C? Why do we need even Mojo if we already have RPython? Right, Mojo is basically like a native language that tries to look like Python, but isn't RPython already that? And it was invented like many years ago? Can we just use RPython? Why do we need Mojo? Okay, I know why we need that. We need to, like, burn investors' money, but that's besides the point. If we put that out of the equation, like, why exactly do we need? Anyway, let's actually download this shit. So what do we have? What do we have? So we have a bunch of binaries. And I suppose we also have a bunch of code. Let's fucking go. Right, so this is gonna be a probe, and so PyPy that we get, and let's actually, download this entire shit. I hope it's not gonna take half of an hour. Fuck. It's taking some time. I'm actually streaming over a VPN, so fuck me. Well, I mean, it's not that long, right? So it's a couple of minutes, so we can talk. We can talk while we're waiting for PyPy to download. So how is it going, everyone? So kill the stream. I'm not gonna be killing this stream. What the fuck are you talking about? No. Virtual Python Network, VPN. Haha! This is how yapping starts. Well, I mean, we're genuinely waiting. We're genuinely waiting for the source code download, okay? Can you use common Python libraries with PyPy like NumPy and such? I heard that yes, but not all of them. Right, so I think somewhere on the website they have some sort of like a compatibility sheet or something like that. So there are features. Compatibility, okay, so here is the compatibility. The pure Python code works. Just a pure Python code works. But there are a few differences with the object lifetime management modules that use CPython C API will probably work, but will not achieve the speed up via the JIT. We encourage library authors to use CFFI and HPy instead. So this is something about, calling to C libraries. If you're looking for how to use PyPy with a scientific Python ecosystem, we encourage you to use Conda. I have no idea what the fuck it is. I'm not a Python developer. Right, so all of a sudden just became, okay. Something like that. So I suppose things that are written in pure Python will work, which are probably majority of the web frameworks, right? So probably maybe Django works or whatnot. So that's the only thing I know about this kind of shit. It's the only thing I know. Okay, so we'll get some subs. Thank you so much, R. Torres Ware, for Twitch Prime Kitchen with the message. Hello again. Great stream. Have you seen Mojo? I haven't. I heard about it, but I haven't seen it. The expressiveness of Python and the performance of C. So Python compatible syntax with the option to go low level. Are they still, subscription only? So can I just go to their website, download the binary and just start using it like I do with PyPy? I just downloaded the source code of PyPy. Can I do the same with Mojo without giving my email, making accounts or any shit like that? Can I do something like that? Mojo store. Okay, I know. So Mojo programming for all of AI. If I can't do that, fuck that. I'm not given any information. I just want to download some shit. Like, can I do that? Can I just fucking download this shit? I don't fucking see it. So there's a get started. I don't see it. Sorry. So thank you for the Twitch Prime. And I already downloaded. Look at that. We already downloaded the source code. The source code is actually okay. Let's actually try to unpack it. So we're unpacking it. It's taking some time because there's all the files. Should have not done that through Emacs. And here is the source code in its glory, right? So I already kind of like roughly looked into this folder, and from what I understood, there's two important folders in here, which is RPython, which contains the implementation of RPython translator, and PyPy, which contains the implementation of Python, right, in RPy. Right, so this is the implementation of this thing. Right, does it have any sort of entry point or anything like that? It has init, right, but I'm not sure if it's actually has an entry point. The thing about RPython, look at that. It contains an entry point. So that means this folder in specific is actually an executable, right? So RPython translating usage, right, so you have translation options, you have targets, right, so and you have target options, right, and it just calls to this implementation and stuff like that. So let's try to run it because it's kind of an interesting thing, right? So you probably won't expect that, but if you try to just run Python, RPython, right, it works as an executable, right? So it works exactly as you would expect, right? It's just an executable. So let me try to do that again. Python, RPython. So, and it says that you can pass help in here, but then it kind of fails, right? So there's no module named RPython, right? So if I remember correctly, so is there something like a search path? Right, so there is an environment variable called Python path, right? So, and as far as I know, you can just add the current thing to the Python path and then just do RPython and help. And you'll notice something interesting. Don't you notice something interesting? Don't you notice something interesting? Python 2. Yeah, Python 2.7. Think about it. It's a Python 3 implemented in Python 2. That is bizarre. So it's a code that will probably work with Python 3 code, but itself is implemented in Python 2. That is fascinating, isn't it? Right. So it's Python 3, but it's implemented in Python 3, and because of that, it's fine. Right. So the problem is that I don't have Python 2 in here, right? So it's just like I don't have Python 2. I only have Python 3, so I won't be able to run RPython. So, but here's an interesting thing. There is Python 2.7 executables in here, right? So of PyPy, which I can probably download, right? Let's actually quickly try to do that. So here is an executable, actual binary executable. And let's see if we can quickly do that. So I'm gonna just do download this Scheiße, meine Freunde. It's gonna take some time probably. It's actually going faster. I really appreciate that. I really fucking appreciate that. So, and let's just unpack this entire thing. Right, so this entire thing is being unpacked. Right, so there's no process in here. Okay, so that's cool. And this is just a distribution, right? And it contains a bunch of things. So it contains PyPy and various basically symlinks that, you know, go into PyPy. Right, so this is... It's actually pretty self-contained, and it doesn't refer to anything that I personally don't have, right? So that's totally fine. Okay, so let's put it like this. So that means I should be able to do something like that. I didn't really... Okay, so PyPy 2 and PyPy. Right, so if I try to... Yeah, this was not a best idea to actually do that, right? So because I actually want to start it from here, PyPy 2 bin PyPy, right? So we'll get that, and I just run RPython. It seems to be running, and if I do help, it actually works. And what's funny is that it works without Python path in here, right? So I didn't have to provide Python path in here. I suppose the problems with Python path were due to you know, having different version of Python, right? But again, it's a compiler for like a Python 3 anyway. It's just implemented in Python 2, right? So it's totally fine, and we can still run it to some extent. So the question is, how do you even fucking do that? How do you even translate something? Can I write some Python code and translate that code to C, for instance, right? So as you can see here, I can provide a target, specific target options. Okay, so usage translate. Right, I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. So does it mean that I use this as a command? Could not find target translate. Okay, so what if I create main.py, right, and I just put something like hello world in here? Can I do something like that? Right, and then I just do main.py. That's okay. That's a lot to unpack. That's a lot to unpack. Let's actually see. So this is where we started. Okay, so translation info, PyPy 7317 GCC set platform with host CC non using CC GCC version unknown. Okay, that's very interesting. And then it said hello world. Look at that. It actually interpreted it to some extent. Right, it said hello world. And then it traced back saying that mine.py is not a valid target xxx.py. Nice error message, by the way. But I suppose this thing is not supposed to be like a user's facing, right? So maybe that's why it's not particularly great error message, because it's for the developers of PyPy anyway. So who fucking cares? But we have a little bit of a like actually source code in here, right? XXX videos, yeah. XXX videos. So we get some subs and beats and the beats. Thank you so much for all of the beats. So Howard Rourke 11, thank you so much for each prime. Kalayedo, thank you so much for 100 bits with the message snackception indeed. R Torres Swear, thank you so much for 5 gifted sub. Thank you. And your tools, thank you so much for Twitch Prime. Genosen, I have no idea what that means, but thank you so much. Thank you. So all right, so we can take a look at what the fuck is going on in there specifically, right? So the translate.py, I'm really curious about that. Right, let me find the file name, which is translate.py. Let's take a look at it. So here it is, and if we go into that specific file, right, and it's at the line, you can't probably see that, right? You can't probably see that, but it's at the line 99. So this is where it was happening. So, okay, so load target and target spec. Translate the target as defined by target spec. Right, so target, I suppose this is the path. So target spec ends with pi. If it doesn't end with pi, we just append pi, right? So that means we didn't even have to provide pi in here. We didn't have to do that because it will do that automatically, right? So as you can see, I could have just say, okay, so main. That's pretty cool, right? So this is why I recommend reading the source code, right? So how would you know this really little silly fact if you didn't look into the source code, right? So the source code is the best documentation. That's what it is, the best documentation. So then we have a sys modules. I don't remember. It's like we're taking the current module, so we're taking this module. I didn't know about that, by the way. This is actually kind of cool trick. So can I try to do that? So Python 3. So sys, do we have sys? We have to import sys, right? Sys modules, right? So oh Jesus fucking Christ. So and then we take the current module, right? So this is the current module, and what's inside of this current module? Sys itself. It's a very self-referential. It is very self-referential. So that means from within this thing we can take sys, right? And from within this thing we can take modules, and we can take the same module. And we can confirm that these two things are the same, right? Can we actually confirm that? Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Normal stuff in Python, exactly. PyPy, yeah, that's the definition of PyPy. Okay, cool. So, and in the modules we find in the module translate, and yeah, so we just say it's this module. Okay, so spec name, base name. So we're taking a base name, we split the text, and then we insert, and we do a bunch of manipulation like that, and then we import spec name. So there should be some sort of a spec in here. Some sort of a spec in here. That's rather interesting. System path insert. I'm not sure how to interpret this entire thing. Dir name, insert, spec name. So something about this spec. So it basically looks for the target in the current module. Does it? Does it look for the target in the current module? What if we provided the target? That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay. So target your mom. Let's go. So, and let's try to actually run it. Holy shit, it actually worked. Okay. So, well, I mean, it kind of worked, but so then it fails. Is not callable. Callable? It tries to call this entire thing. All right. So start debugger. let me actually read that. So error, I guess that's the entirety. So it provides the driver and arguments. Right, so it provides the driver and the arguments. Okay, that's very interesting. Right, so let me see. It also falls into the debugger. You need a return function. Yeah, I can see that. I can actually see that. So let's do define. Right, and it was actually accepting driver and args. All right, and one of the things we can do is maybe print driver. Right, maybe something like this. So driver, driver, like so. And this one is going to be args. There we go. Well, I mean, I want you to do that for all of them. Thank you so much. So let's try to run this entire stuff, and there we go. So driver. So it already says hello world. Holy shit! It started shitting rainbows. I have no idea what the fuck. And then it failed. Fucking hacked. Yeah, fucking hacked anyway. I expected fucking anything but that. So, alright. So what does it say? Okay, that's pretty cool. So set flat from host CC. So translation PyPy configuration. GC doesn't really say much to me. Creating database for generating source code. Jesus Christ, why is it? Specializing. Loading targets, and then it failed with an error. Right, and I wonder what kind of error. Attempt to call constant none. I feel like I just have to do something with those arguments. That's the thing. Right, so I got the driver and stuff like that. The question is, what the fuck am I even doing with that? Or maybe there is some already existing targets that I could have just used. Right, so it would be kind of nice to have some kind of examples, right, for this entire thing. Maybe we can find some information on the website about this kind of stuff, right? So dev docs, RPython. What do we have? So I have to actually press enter, get full condemn it. So it's searching. It's not very particularly useful. It's not particularly useful. So let's go to here. All right. So there's features about blog. I guess we don't really have anything but dev docs. Does anybody see anything about RPython? Python mixed module, explicit typing on RPython. Convert. Okay, so convert RPython to Python 3. So maybe RPython language. So Python, a step towards. All right. So here it is. This is what I was looking for because I kind of remember this thing, and it's not even part of PyPy. Here's the thing, right? So it's not even part of PyPy. So RPython is a restricted subset of Python that is amenable to static analysis. Although there are additions to the language and some things might surprisingly work, this is a rough list of restrictions that should be considered. Note that there are tons of special case restrictions that you will encounter as you go. The exact definition is RPython is everything that our translation toolchain can accept. Looking at you, Rust. Looking at you. Right. Isn't Rust doesn't even have any spec, right? So the spec of Rust is just like whatever compiler supports or something. I think it is. So we have something like that. So here's the thing that you can use in RPython. Cool. So exception rules. For example, you have that Py is debuggable on top of CPython, has advantage, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so frequently asked question, cross-platform R, login environment. So generally useful are Python modules. Okay, that is very cool. But I would like to have an example that, getting started with RPython, just an example. Okay, so here is the file in RPython. Here's how you translate it to something. I would like to have something like that. All right. So RPython is a subset of Python 2. Right. It's a subset of Python 2. But again, so you may say, ew, brother, ew, as much as you want, but they implemented Python 3 in RPython, and they have their own Python 2 implementation. So it's totally fine in a sense, if you think about it. Right, so they're still using Python 2, but they're kind of maintaining it for themselves. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. Are they going to be actually, you know, changing RPython and making it a subset of Python 3 at one point? Maybe not, I don't really know. Python 2 will never die. Yeah, it probably will never die. So I wonder if somebody still uses Python 1. So the rumors I heard about Python 1, by the way, is that Python 1 is so goddamn old. Python as a language generally is so goddamn old that Python 1 was originally developed for DOS. That's how fucking old it is. PyPy 2 is actually a maintained Python 2 interpreter some people unironically use. Huh, I can actually see that. Yeah, why not? So I suppose like the official Python 2 interpreter is not really maintained anymore, but since PyPy developers kind of need it because RPython is a subset of Python 2, so you can kind of rely on, you know, PyPy 2. Time to fire. Maybe I should do a stream about that. Fuck, that's such a cool idea. Like, do a stream where you program in Python 1 in DOSBox or something. So people suggesting some examples and stuff like that. I don't know, doesn't look like official documentation. But anyway. So we already got some stuff in here. So RPython is subset of Python 2 that can be statically compiled. The PyPy interpreter is written mostly in RPython with pieces in Python, while the RPython compiler is written in Python. Oh, that's very interesting. So RPython is not implemented in itself, right? So, okay. The hard to understand part is that Python is a meta-programming language for RPython. That is, being valid RPython is a question that only makes sense on the live object after the imports are done. So this might require more explanation. You start writing RPython from entry point. A good starting point is RPython translation goal target nop standalone. This doesn't do all that much, but is a start. Now if you code analyze, in that case entry point, calls, now if code analyzed calls some functions, those calls will be followed. Those followed calls have to be RPython themselves, and everything they call, etc. However, not entire module files. To show how you can use metaprogramming, we can do a silly example. Okay, so here is this thing. Oh, look at that. This is a target. This is a target. This is a target. Holy shit, we have an example. And this example is actually, you know, part of this thing. A simple standalone target. The target below specifies none as the argument types list. This is a case treated specifically in driver.py. If the list of input types is empty, it is meant to be list of strings, actually implemented arg of executable. Right, so you have functions like debug. You have an entry point where you probably actually write your code, and this is why when we're trying to interpret some of the shit in here, it basically printed hello world right away because it just loaded this module. But this is not how you compile this entire thing. Right, so I suppose it compiles only the things starting from entry point or something like that. That's very interesting. Right, so here's the entry point, you do debug hello world, and then, right. That is fascinating. What if I just like copy paste this entire thing? I really want to try that. Chat. Right, I really want to try that. So fuck all of that shit. I'm gonna copy paste this entire thing in here. Boom. Why Vim did that? Like, what the fuck is wrong with what? Like, I just pressed Shift Insert and it just did that shit. Can your Emacs do that? What the fuck is wrong with me? Do I have like a real Vim in here? I have a real Vim in here. Do you guys know about NVI? Do you guys know about NVI? This is actually Vim VI that acts like original VI, including not having syntax highlighting and shit like that. And it's not now VI, it's like original VI. Right, so it's kind of funny. Who needs now Vim when you have NVI? Right, so yeah. It doesn't even have a... Bro, it doesn't have a visual mode. Look at this shit. V isn't a VI command. It's so goddamn old school, it doesn't have a visual mode. You can't select shit. This is the original VI. We can use ed actually, right? So main.py, right? So ed main.py, right? So the way you use ed, you press A and you go into the insert mode, actually append mode, right? So then you can simply copy paste a thing. This is actually not what I wanted to copy paste. Can I just copy paste? Ooh, this was not the Vim's fault. This was this website fault. Okay, so I can copy the file contents. All right. Okay. Remove main. So yeah, we only have this entire thing. So main.py a. Right. I explicitly copy paste this entire thing, and still doesn't work. Finally. Right, so just selecting this entire thing will actually not produce a good code. Right, so then I can put dot. By pressing dot, you actually get out of the insert mode. Then you press W, and it actually tells you like how many characters it's saved, and then you can quit. That's how you use the standard text editor. None of that Zoomer now Vim shit. Okay, this is how real programmers write code. Anyways, right, so then we can open this thing, and here it is actually. So anyway, so let's try to translate this shit. So right, so let's see if it's going to do the thing. So starting annotate. So it's annotating something. Is it gonna shed rainbows? It's shading rainbows. Hallelujah, it's shading rainbows. Amen. Holy fuck. This is the best part of RPython, I swear to God. It's just like you run it and shitting rainbows all over the place. It's fucking... And it did it in 21 seconds. We compiled hello world in 21 seconds. Ah, da, da, da. Oh, holy shit, we've got a main. See, look at that. Look at fucking that. LDD and... Okay. So, and we can take a look at the file, it seems to me. Hello world, prefixed with a debug. So, yeah, we have a Python program, right? So that had to kind of adhere to some, like a little bit of a bureaucratic things, right? So you have to have like a driver, you have to have an entry point, and so on and so forth, right? But it created an actually native executable, which is kind of cool, And it feels absolutely fucking unnecessary, honestly. You could have just like implemented it in any native language, but I suppose they just want you to do that for a meme. Like, it's absolutely fucking unnecessary, isn't it? Like, what's the point of going through the trouble of creating this subset and translator for the subset and so on? It feels like a meme. Is there really any necessity of doing that? You could have just like implemented it in C++, or I don't know if Rust was a thing back then. They did it for the beat. Yeah, I understand that. Honestly, I fucking respect that. Just for the meme, right? So because we have a Python implemented in Python, oh, can your C do that? Can your JavaScript do that? I don't. Yeah, it's actually really great to dunk on JavaScript to show how fucking toy of a scripting language that is. Do you have a JavaScript interpreter implemented in JavaScript? I don't fucking think so. We have a Python interpreter implemented in Python. This is a real serious programming language. None of that toy shit for web devs. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so that's pretty cool. And it feels like, so what's funny is that this target just returns the entry point. So, which is kind of bizarre. So maybe, like, do we have to even do anything here? Maybe? I don't freaking know. So what if so I can just do print, as you can see, right? So I can just do print. So let me do hello world, just without any of that shit, right? So, and I want to also remove this entire thing. But on top of that, I also want to just do run. Can I do in range 10? Right, and then just do that. Does anybody know, is this a valid Python 2? I'm actually not sure. Maybe it's not a valid Python 2, but we'll see. All right, so let's fucking go. Hell yeah, rainbows, rainbows. Let's fucking go. Man, this is so fucking fun. Oh, what is it fucking do? Why is it outputting all of that stuff? Like, I have no idea. It's so bizarre. It's so quirky and weird. Like, holy shit. Alright, so if I try to run, and it actually printed it 10 times. Look at that. I can program native applications in Python. The next question is, can I link this stuff with C libraries? Can I call C functions? Raylib, I don't fucking know. That sounds interesting, actually. RPython. So let me actually see. How can you interact with C stuff? So RPython language. So this is an example. This is the generator, and so on and so forth. We didn't even finish reading this paragraph, honestly. This doesn't do all that much, but is a start. Now, if code analyze, in this case, entry point calls some functions, those calls will be followed. Those followed calls have to be RPython themselves and everything they call. However, not the entire module file. To show how you can use method. Oh, right, we actually read it. I forgot about that. In this example, entry point is RPython. Okay, so entry point is RPython. We call to add and sub and so on and so forth. And in sub are RPython. However, generator is not. So the following. Okay. So that's very interesting. So what that means? Oh! So, okay, this thing itself is not, but it will generate valid functions. That is bizarre. Try now the translator. Okay. So the translator is a tool based on the PyPy interpreter, which can translate sufficiently static RPython programs into lower level code. In particular, it can be used to translate full Python interpreter. To be able to experiment with it, you need to download and install the usual CPython 2 version of Pygame. Well, I mean, we already have like a Python 2 version, like PyPy 2, right? So you cd into RPython and you use bin translator or shell. Is that what you fucking do? This is not how we did that. You have been in here, and okay, so translator, or you just have fucking RPython bin in here, which and I was calling it through. Why was I doing it like that? So wait, RPython has own FFI. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. So it has a RPython executable, but I was calling RPython by just providing the folder, because the folder has main. Well, it doesn't really matter, right? So you basically end up with the same shit anyway, don't you? Yeah, I think it's the same shit. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so test snippets of translatable code are provided in. Holy fucking shit, we have examples, finally! Examples. Eggs fucking apples. Snippets for translators. This module holds various snippets to be used by translator unit tests. Okay, so these are various translatable snippets. Okay. So, alright, so whatever. So translator snippet perfect. Try now type annotator. I don't give a shit. So translating the flow graph to C code. I don't give a shit. Okay. So we'll produce executable standalone. We already actually kind of tried that, but with our own thing. So translating full programs. To say full programs, there is a script or Python examples for this are slightly changed version of Pystone. Ooh. So translator goal. Target. Ooh, so basically these like have different like R's, you know, Rstone, RPython. It's bizarre. I don't fucking understand, mate. I don't fucking understand. But anyway, so I think I should not look into that. Try now the translator. So they're talking about like their internal things that are probably not of that much of a use for us. So I'm not sure. You know what I want to do? I want to make a small break and refill my cup of tea. Right. So I need to refill my cup of tea, and after the cup of tea, we can try to see how we can maybe link with Synchro. I don't know. Is that a good idea? Right, so we can try it. It's kind of fun, right? So it's just so stressed that he needs 2 cups of tea. Well, I mean, we're almost streaming for 1 hour. Usually at that time, I'm already like doing a break, or actually we did like a pretty huge intro, so I'm not really streaming for 1 hour, at least for YouTube people. But anyway, so let's actually quickly refill the cup of tea. All right. So let's take a look at the source code of PyPy itself. Right, so how, excuse me, is it even implemented? What's funny, it also has a folder called Py. I have no idea what this folder is about. Read before updating. Okay. So this is PyPy's code of the Raylib. We don't expect to upgrade it very often, but once we do, warning, we have made a few tweaks here. Please be sure that you don't just copy the newer versions from upstream without checking the few changes that we did. This can be done like this. So they're using Mercurial? Damn. Do you guys know about HG? So it's just like a Mercurial. So version control system. So that's old. So they don't use Mercurial anymore. Mercurial is pork, but I never got to use it. Yeah, so it's just Linus with his authority actually forced everyone to use Git. So, and Mercurial kind of died because of that. Mercurial kind of died because of that. So anyways, let me see. So this is our Python. So I don't know what the fuck it is, right? So I'm gonna just leave it as it is. So let's take a look at PyPy. So, and in terms of PyPy, does it have a... So the thing we know about our Python applications is that they basically have an entry point or some sort of a driver or something like that. And I wonder if there is a file where you have a driver, or no, it's not driver, it's target, function defined anywhere. So one of the things we can do in here, we can actually do grep def targets. Right, so is def target, okay, it is actually, look at that. Oh, it's goal, target PyPy stand. Ooh, so this is actually a very interesting convention, right? So the convention for these kind of things, for this kind of application, is to have goal folder, right? And within the goals, you have target, and then some sort of a name of the goal. You guys remember the error message that was not a valid target xxx pi whatever, right? Because that's the convention, right? So target, and then name of the target, whatever the fuck it is, and here is the PyPy standalone, and it does in fact have the driver, right, dev driver. Where is it? I didn't see it. Wait, there was a. I keep forgetting target. I don't know why I keep calling it driver. I think I'm insane. Where is the dev target? Yeah, because it has a parameter target, right? But it's actually. Yeah, so PyPy target. Huh, fascinating. Target interface globals. So I suppose maybe it exports some of these things into globals. What the fuck is interface? So it iterates through all of these names, right? And within the namespace, okay. So this is such a weird code, right? So there is a class PyPy target. We create an object out of that, and we call a method interfaces with globals, and the globals, if I'm not mistaken, so it has to be maybe Python 3, but I mean globals, right? It's basically a dictionary of all globals, right? So, and what we're doing, we are basically injecting some of the local names in here into that namespace specifically, and one of the names that we're injecting is the target. Right, so which is part of the attribute. This is a really weird way of doing that. Why don't you just have it defined at the top level? Why does it have to be a class? Is that because it has, probably because it's encloses some of the values in here, but you could have just made them global values instead. And what the hell is wrong with OP people? Can anybody tell me why people do it like that? So it's a Pythonic way of doing. Is it really Pythonic way of doing that? But anyway, all right. So let's take a look at the dev targets. Right. So what we're doing here. So we take a driver. Oh, and through driver and arguments, we can actually control some of the compilation situation. Right. So we can say an exe name. That's actually kind of fucking cool. Can I do that somehow? Right, so I have a main.py. Alright, so, and in a target I just return an entry point, nothing particularly special. But then I know that I accept driver in here, whatever the fuck it is. Alright, so, and look at that. So it's a driver args and a driver exe. What was that? Exe name. Right, so I can say exe name. And I can specify version and stuff like that, and obviously I can say, okay, your mom, right? So basically your mom. Let's actually put I in here and maybe do something like I don't freaking know. Can I do something like that? Is that a valid Python? Is that even a valid Python? I'm not sure. But anyway, so they also take the driver config, they parse some parameters and shit like that. So that's understandable. So that probably goes into the driver. And does it end with returning the entry point somehow? I wonder. Okay, so it does in fact end with returning entry points. You get entry point from the config and stuff like that. So the target, I think I understand the point of this target. It kind of configures the build. Right, so the driver has a bunch of things, you set them up, you configure them, and so on and so forth. Right, and then you just return an entry point, and then the translator using all of that stuff to create an executable. This is weirdly similar to how Jai compilation works, actually. Believe it or not. Right. So Jai doesn't really have any separate build system or anything like that. You always build your project. You always build your project with just Jai, and you know, usually it has like a first.jai. And within that first.jai, you can have compile time snippets that modify the current compilation environment and can set some of the parameters of the compilation on the fly. And that's how you configure your build, not through the flags, but through compile time parameters. Right. So you can even set libraries using RFFI here. Oh, that's so fucking cool. Yeah. So here I can say, okay, I can probably say what I can link with. And that brings us back to Raylib Speedrun. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. People probably already hate me for doing Raylib. But I mean, here's the thing. Okay, all right. I understand that doing Raylib Speedrun is such a fucking meme. But honestly, it's a very good test of how useful the language is. It's like doing Raylib Speedrun is the bare minimum of what useful language has to be. Right. If your language has any use in real world, it should be able to support Raylib. Right, it's just like a bare minimum. Sort of, you know what I mean? Right, it's kind of a meme, but at the same time, right, so are you a useful language? Can you interact with the C code and stuff like that? Right, if so, okay, so we can actually use all of these libraries and everything. Raylib Speedrun in regex, well, I can try to do that. I can try to hack like PRCE library. You know, yeah, so regex. How is it called? PCRE. I keep forgetting how it's actually called. So PCRE. Similarly, how I hacked M4. Right. So yeah, I can try to do that. Holy shit! Raylib and brainfuck would have been. Oh my fucking goodness! This would be. I think I can pull that off, chat. I think I can unironically pull that off. Raylib in brainfuck. Damn, bro. We have so many cool ideas. Rayfuck. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways. So let's actually see if like setting the executable name actually works. All right. So what was the my main something main.py. So where is it? Here it is. I found. What? Freaking bash. I swear to God. Anyways, so let's try to do to bin PyPy. So here is the PyPy, and so this is RPython. All right, and then in here I do main.py. So and let's just enjoy the rainbow. Taste the rainbow. Let's fucking go. Okay, cool. I don't see you. Here's you. Oh, holy fuck! It actually created you. I can control shit through the driver. It makes so much fucking sense now. Holy fuck! It makes so much fucking sense. Here's an interesting thing. Can I like control whether I compile the current thing or not? So what if I return none? Just return none. What is going to happen? I expect that it's just not gonna compile properly. Alright, so it's doing things. It's still compiling, right? So I suppose it's not. What does it do so much? Like it's basically an empty program, isn't it? It's still doing all of that stuff. Alright. and it failed because it's a constant none and everything. Okay, so that's understandable. So it's probably preparing the runtime or something. But anyway, one of the things I want you to do, I just want you to take a look at the internals of the driver. Or better yet, can I just put a help on it? Right, so none is not called. Yeah, none is not callable. Should have actually maybe returned lambda or something like that. But anyway, we can actually just do help and just see what's going on in there, because it's Python, right? So it did. Oh, there we go. So that's pretty cool. So create exe. So you can. There's a bunch of methods, but can we? So it is exe name, right? So here is exe name. All right. So there is a bunch of parameters in here. Yeah, so exe name is actually part of this thing. Doesn't really tell us that much about what kind of parameters we can modify in here. I don't really see exe name or anything. Unfortunately. So, yeah. So maybe I can just like do it like that. Did I just accidentally? I think I accidentally actually removed the teamwork session. God fucking damn it. But anyways, so maybe we can try to do dir, and as far as I know, dir doesn't really print anything. Right, so if I import math, for instance, and if I do dir, it just returns. So if I'm doing that in this environment, I probably have to do something like this. Right, so let's go ahead and try to do that. So, okay, I think I did it. So I just have to scroll up. Where is it? I don't see it. Fuck. Oh, here they are. Here are all of the parameters that we have in here. So compute exe, yeah, so here's the exe name, done, exposed, ext mode name, extra goals from log r type set, task compile C, task database, and so on and so forth. It's not particularly helpful in here. Config, so people say config. Oof, that's a cool one. So maybe that's what we want to do, actually. So let's take a look at the config. Maybe even just help the config. So maybe that's what we're interested in. All right, so here's the config. There's a bunch of things. Get key. Nice one. Okay, that's very cool. Maybe one of the things we have to do is just, you know, dir. All right. So let's fucking go. And let's fucking go. Not that much, right? So I suppose you kind of need to know all of the config keys and whatnot. Right, so you kind of have to know them. But anyway, so let's actually maybe go into the PyPy source code. Right, so there is a goal and we have a target and so on and so forth. Right, so here is the config. So driver executable. Overview space, all working modules. That's a pretty big one. That's a pretty big one. So somebody said about RFFI and whatnot. I kind of vaguely remember somebody was talking about RFFI. So RFFI is basically FFI of the RPython, right? Isn't it? So foreign function interface for RPython. Okay, so that's very interesting. So this document describes an FFI for RPython language concentrating on low-level backends like C. It describes how to declare and call low-level C functions from RPython level. Declaring low-level external functions. Declaring external C functions in RPython is easy, but one needs to remember that low-level functions eat low-level types, like LL type signed or LL type array, and memory management must be done by hand. To declare a function, we write. Okay, so from RPython rtyper LL type system import RFFI. So and then okay, so external function LL external name args and the result. So okay, external compilation info. Okay. So name a C-level name of a function, how it would be rendered. How it will be rendered. Args, how, like low level types of the arguments and result, low level types of the result. You can pass an individual information about C-level indices, libraries, and source by passing in the compilation info. So compilation info includes libraries and stuff like that. C build more info on external compilation info. C build. It's a specific example. It's actually kind of cool. So translator tool C build. External compilation info. Oh, it's just a description of this. Okay, so that's understandable. From linker and stuff like that. So registering function as external, once we provided low-level implementation of an external function, would be nice to wrap call in some library function like OS open with the call. So when we do external function, do we mean that this function will be coming from C or something? So I'm not actually sure what exactly that means. It would be better to have some examples on how to do that. So the ext function, some external function. Damn. So C build. So this is not that. So let's go ahead and maybe just like import all of that stuff and see how it reacts to these things. So here's the main. Here's the main RPython RFFI, and here we are just doing an external function like that. So I should have actually probably just copy pasted this thing. So yeah. So info, external function, external compilation info, and so on and so forth. It's not particularly like useful example. It's just, it's too vague, right? So do I put something like, can I just say, okay, init window? Can I put init window in here? I probably could, right? So, and what are the includes? Also a good question. I don't freaking know. So okay, so and then what I do with external function. Oh, what's funny is that I can try to maybe call that external function. Okay, so what if I say this is init window, right? So this is init window, and then I simply call it in here, right? So init window, like so. Yeah, that's a good question. How is it going to, since I call this function, this is where this metaprogramming shit comes into play. This is where this metaprogramming shit comes into play, because you call this function, but it's not our Python function. So this will execute at metaprogramming level, creating you the necessary RPython function. You remember that example? You remember that example where you just had like a generator of the functions and stuff like that. This is how this mechanism actually comes into play. Holy fuck, this is so goddamn cool. I think I'm starting to understand this entire like philosophy and whatnot. Holy fuck. So you have page declaring external function. Really? Declaring? Oh yeah, here it is. Thank you so much. But I think I already looked into that because, yeah, this is literally what I'm looking at. Chat! Stop debating. Stop. Just a second, I need to drink more tea. Chat is debating me again. Anyways, so how I'm gonna be doing all that? I think I should just let it do the thing, right, and see how exactly it's gonna shed itself. So that's the best approach to actually explore anything. Just do the things. Args is not defined. Okay, so you know what? I want to do something like name equal to init window. Args is empty, and I don't know if result has to be a list or something, but I'm gonna just make it a list. Okay, so assertion instance low level type. So what did you want? All right, so it doesn't really like, yeah, I have to specify these things somehow. So you know what, I want to maybe grep for ll extern. Does anybody even fucking use a holy shit? Okay, this is how we use it. Okay, so this is literally how we use it. So ll external, this is the function, this is the arguments you accept in here, and this is what you return. But then, do you have something like RFFI void? I would expect that you... This is such a cool documentation. Improved RPython. Right, so let me just try to do that. So result has to be... I'm gonna just literally do void. I'm gonna try to assume that this is how we do that. No, there is no void. How can I see what kind of shit I have in there, bruv? Can I just do print? Yeah, I can do help RFFI and then exit out of that. Can I do something like that? Look at that, look at that. So we do have double. All right, do you have... Why don't you have void, my friends? Where is the void? What if I just don't... Maybe it's just... It's a void... Okay, so there is void star, but it's just a void p, and void pp. Void pp. Oh, funny, fun. Funny double letter, a pp. Oh, maybe it's just none. Maybe it's just none. All right. Okay, and yeah, it has to be like that, bro. It really has to be like that. So it is bizarre. So void signed int array, and I assume that void star is just like it's void p essentially. How can I say nothing? Short pp. I wonder if there is a short pp. No, there's no. There's short p, but there's no short pp. Null. How is that a people? Null is not a type. There's no such thing as null as well. Stop GB. Okay, so there is null, which is none, by the way. Like null is not a type. So, and void star is not a valid token in Python. What the fuck are you talking about, chat? Stop. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Right, stop saying nonsense. Null is not a type. Null is not a type. Null is, it's a value. Guys, do you know C? If it is going to work, I'll ask this question to PyPy developers. If this is how you're supposed to do that, the only question to PyPy developers I have is, do you know C? Right, it's just like, no, null is not a type, guys. How many times I have to repeat that? It's a value. It's not a type, it's a value. Right, so, well, fuck, shit. Where is my... I think I need to reset. Alright. Fucking told you! 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 Stop, chat, stop. Get some help. Okay, so let's actually try to do void p. Right, and it kind of works, but it's incorrect. Right, so because this function doesn't return void p. So it's going to compile, but again, it's not the correct. Right, so there should be something like a void or whatnot. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's so bizarre, honestly. Okay, so it's doing things, and what else? And it's shits with, yeah, that's understandable. That is actually understandable. Okay, so let's go. Let's go to Ray-san. By the way, Ray-san said that he's going to release a new version of Raylib soon. LL type void. Where can I have LL type, by the way? So LL external. Okay, so let's give it a try. All right, so somebody's saying interesting things. All right, so there should be LL type. Okay, LL type. Okay, so that means we have to do something like LL type, right? Is that what you mean? Okay. Why is it so weird, bro? And okay, LL type void. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. That's kind of weird. So why did they nest specifically that into another module? Just like they didn't do that for double, they didn't do that for other things, but they did that specifically for the void. Doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, so they're trying to link with the init window, right? But they can't do that because there's no such thing. So let's go ahead and just download Raylib. Let's download low-level types. Why are you saying that in the chat? I know what LL types means. This is not what I'm asking. Do you hear what I'm saying? Troll in the chat. Troll in the chat. Do you hear what I'm saying, or are you just trying to annoy me? Okay, so probably don't hear what I'm saying. W gets muted. Yes, okay, cool. I'm really glad to hear that. So let's actually try to unpack this entire thing. I'm really glad that you just, you know, implicitly agreed that you are a troll. Okay, fair enough. So I suppose the thing we need to do is in here, right? So okay, this is my hypothesis how you have to do this kind of stuff. This is my hypothesis. I'm not sure why the fuck you need includes though. Because it okay, so that's rather interesting. So because it generates C code, so that means it can include additional things for additional type checking at C. So if we don't include anything in here, it will probably throw a warning. I don't know anything about that init blah 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 thing you just like told me or something. I think that's how it's gonna go. What do you think? I think that's how it's gonna go. Anyway, let's actually start the rainbow. Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! The fucking rainbow! I was fucking right! I was fucking right! So, yeah, you need that to get... I fucking predicted that exact fucking error message. So to fix that exact error message, you have to specify what you want to fucking include, mate. What you want to include raylib.h. Right, get predicted. Okay, chat, stop being so hateful. Come on. All right, so let's actually put this shit in here, and this is include and raylib.h. All right, so let's go. So it's going to fix that error. Maybe it's gonna fail with the discrepancy of types in here, right? So because the types here are slightly different. All right, types are slightly different, but anyway. Okay, so it's doing things. Okay, so what does it say? Fuck me, bro. So what does it say? No such file or directory. Are you out of your mind? Is that because of this shit that you're not supposed to have an includes? Or am I missing something? Wrong directory. This is not a wrong directory. Dude, stop doing this kind of shit. The -i flag. Yeah, so we need some sort of a -i flag, but the question is, how do I even do that? So maybe, yeah, so the angular brackets, like, I'm not sure if this is even a valid, like, C code. I'm not sure if this is a valid C code. Right, so let me try to do that. Oh my god, just copy paste this thing already. Okay, so if I like the Emacs actually highlights it fine, but I mean this is my own highlight mode, so it doesn't really mean anything. So, and if I try to do cco main.c, right, yeah, so now such file a directory, but what if I put this thing? Okay, it's also no such file or directory. And if I do this, yeah. So this is annoying, bro. What the fuck? So you can only include the things that are like, yeah, you have to specify a path. Like, what the fuck? But the question is, how can I specify the path? Can I don't fucking know. So it has to be help external compilation info, right? So exit 69. Full path. Oh, come on, bro. Come on. This is like, I don't want to do that. So is there something like pwd in Python? Pwd. All right. No, bro, no. I don't want to fucking do that. That's stupid. But we can try to do that. Okay. Python absolute path. How do we do Python absolute path? It's stupid, but I feel like I have to do that. So yeah, so let's import OS. All right, so this is import OS and OS path apps path. Okay, OS path apps path. So if I try to do this kind of shit, and right, so let's go. OS. So maybe it will work this time. It's kind of interesting. We'll probably have to do the same shit with library, but not necessarily, actually. Not necessarily. So it will complain about the lack of... okay, it's doing things. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Holy shit, look at that. So too few Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What we have to do here is we have to pass some, you know, widths and heights and widths and heights and. So let me find the usage for this thing yet again. So yeah, you can just do int and stuff like that. So it's more like rffi int. There we go. And the question is, can I have char? Does it have like a char pointers and stuff? So you have a char buffer and size. What about strings? That's annoying. So there's an out pointer. So there's a thing. Okay, so this one is interesting. Extensible type for LL external CRA. Okay, so this one is cool. So maybe this is what we can use. So improve RPython. Yeah, string. RPython string. So is that what it is? Like a char buffer array set? What the fuck is that though? So CivilPy is the more options explains like include dir, maybe what you want. But I mean, this is not the problem I solve in how they pass a string. I don't care. We already built everything, people. Why are you constantly pinging me with irrelevant problems? We already solved that, didn't we? How do I pass a string? Chat, you are too slow. You can't keep up. So if you want to be on a Zozin stream, you have to keep up. We solving problem very quickly. Okay, solve problem, next problem, solve problem, next problem, solve problem, next problem. Keep up, keep up, keep up. We already passed that. We already passed the include folders. That's it. How do we use a string? So I'm joking. Anyways, so yeah, keep up. How do we do that? So the question is, how do we do the strings? That's a good question, my friend. So, no worries, just slow internet. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Ledinets. Thank you so much for the prime with the message. No worries, just a slow internet. Thank you. I understand that. I understand. Sharp. You think Sharp? I'm not sure about Sharp though. Oh, there is such thing as Sharp. There's a C Sharp. One of the things we probably want to take a look at, actually. One of the things we want to take a look at is yeah, help RFFI exit 69. Yes, I know I put a semicolon. I'm gonna put another one and another one and another one. All right, let's go. So let me see. Oh, really? You tell me this is an invalid syntax? Fuck. Okay. I can't troll chat. I can't fucking troll chat anymore. God fucking damn it. Anyway, Charpy. Charpy const C Charpy. Why is it CC Charpy? So array of character. No length true. Okay. C Charpy. I think that's what we need actually. C Charpy. All right. So that's what we have to put in here. RFFI C Charpy. And now the real question: can I just do something like that? Hello from RPython. So that's a good question. Okay, let's fucking go. Cheers, chat. Cheers. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm sorry. So let me. Let's go. C or const. Oh, it could be const actually. Yeah. Okay, I see what it's all about. I see what it is all about. I see what it is all about. Okay. Okay, so let's go into that C build py thingy. So thank you so much. Right, so just a second. So thank you so much, CodeCat69. In the cbuild.py, there's more option explained, like include dirs. Maybe you want, yeah, maybe I want that. So you see, sometimes we go back into the old problems, right? So it's totally fine. Okay, can we find this thing? So it's a type f name cbuild .py. So okay, so it's here. Let's go there. Right, so include dirs. Okay, is there any examples? Okay, there's literally include dirs. Okay, that's funny. So this is attributes, right? So if I go, thank you so much, CodeCat69. Like, yeah. So chatter. Oh my God, they were from the. It's me who can't keep up. Holy shit! They were several steps ahead of me. What? Okay. Anyways, so it's actually funny. So we have include dirs, right? So this is basically what we can do, right? So here is include dirs, and that means that means we can do something like this, and then I can just do this kind of stuff. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. We're spending time together in my room. I wonder if I can just do something like this. So there's also library dirs. So that means I can put stuff like that. And this is dLibrary dir. And right. So yeah, it's probably not going to work, but I'm just want to try because it's using a different syntax. You can't just allow this kind of things. I probably have to do that without the extension, but that also probably means that it will use the dynamic library, not the static one. All right, let's go. So invalid syntax. Fuck, I forgot some commas. All right. All right, it's doing its rainbow thing. It's specializing the blocks. Not generalizing though, just specializing. So it's doing makefile, okay. And obviously it couldn't do that. So one of the things we can do, right, so because it just like puts it as is. So if you want to make it work with GCC, you have to actually put a colon between these two else, right? And in that case, it will use specific library. One of the things we can do, we can just say, Raylib, and it will link actually with whatever it will find. And usually it means the dynamic one, right? Which is not what we want. Which is actually not what we want. Oh, that's okay. So that's actually really funny. So that means we can hack it like that. Did the creators of RPython anticipated that we're going to be using it like that? I think I think they didn't expect that we're going to be using it like that. We're hacking the system. We're hacking the system. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. And fuck you. That is actually an easy problem because it's just a lack of the math library. So just put M in here. Just put M. Lack of the math, yeah. Specialize in the blocks. Specialize in the blocks. Okay, so let's take a look. And your mom. The legendary Raylib blog. How about fucking that? Holy shit. All right, so now we can continue doing this kind of stuff, right? So we can add more different functions, right? So for example, maybe close the window and stuff like that. Maybe we can just like do it on this. Okay, so so we can do like window should close, right? So we can check that window should close, window should close, right? So here's the window should close. Then we do that, but this thing should probably return a boolean, but I don't remember, does it return boolean or does it return integer? So let me see, window should, it does return boolean. I'm not sure, does it just have bool? I hope it does, but it also will take some time to build. So the thing that kills me with RPython is the compilation time. Freaking 20 seconds for hello world. What the fuck is this? Maybe this is because I'm using... Yeah, maybe this is because I'm using like a pipe. I don't even know what was that. So boolean isn't real type, right? I don't know. It doesn't really mean that our FFI is not going to have it though, right? So it's just like, I don't know. Let's give it a try. So bool doesn't have bool. So it might be in the LL types, right? So LL type. So bool. Okay, it does have bool though, right? Does it have bool? So along with void. So let's give it a try. So LL type bool. Do includes std bool. Maybe we'll have to do std bool. Right, so let's actually see, let's actually try. Okay, no attribute bool. Fuck. We can just return integer, can't we? Bool? You think it's bool? Chat, stop guessing. Oh, it was actually true. Okay, so you were not guessing. Man, the compilation times is just like... while not, window should close. Right, so probably have to do begin drawing and end drawing. Right. Well, begin drawing and end drawing are kind of easy. Alright, so because they don't really have any parameters. Begin drawing, end drawing. So the result is void, and here it's gonna be just end. Right, so that's what we're doing in here. Let's try to recompile one more time. And this one should be relatively easy and straightforward. Parentheses for window show. Yeah, you're right. You're actually right. Just a second. Pascal. Yeah, we're programming in Pascal. So would they have got that? I don't know. Maybe they would. I don't really know how much analysis it does. Okay. Got the window. And it says hello from RPython. Raylib Speedrun has been passed. It passed the Raylib test. How about that? So, and on top of that, it's an actually, you know, native executable, right? So look at that. It's an actual native executable, but all of that, like this program, is in Python. So, and it's not just Python, it's RPython specifically. It's RPython specifically. You know what's interesting actually about this entire thing? Is it runnable with, I don't know, with regular Python? Theoretically, maybe. So what if I just like use, so this is a Python 2 specifically. I can try to do the following thing, PyPy 2, right? So then bin PyPy, right, so PyPy. Can I import main? I managed to import main, and then can I just do entry point? So it accepts argv, so I'm gonna just put this kind of thing. All right, so function window not found in any libraries. Yeah, you can't just run it. So the funny thing, yeah, the funny thing is, if your program does not interface with C, you can potentially interpret it and then also compile to something native. Yeah, RFFI wouldn't exist. Yeah, so this specific program we probably can't use from regular Python. But if it was not depending on Raylib, we could actually do that, right? So some of the things you can do here is essentially just test with interpreted Python, and then once you're sure that there's no bugs or anything, you can compile it to C and then to native thing. There's the Python specific C interfaces aren't there. Maybe there are, but here's the thing, we're using static library in here. So maybe one of the things we have to do in here is to use the dynamic one. I don't fucking know. So what if I just put Raylib in here like so? Is that something I can do? So I'm gonna import main, and then I just call entry point with an arguments. No fucking way, holy shit! Based, unironically based. It loaded dynamic. What the? This is so fucking cool. So the same code can be interpreted and then holy shit. This is so goddamn fucking cool. What the fuck? Damn. Like, I mean, it feels unnecessary. As already said, the entire RPython setup thingy is like feels unnecessary, but goddamn isn't it cool? Huge respect. So, and PyPy is a very old thing, right? So, like I remember it from I think 10 years ago when I only started my career of software development, and it's coming from this old like tech culture, the same tech culture that created things like cello. You guys remember we were trying cello? Right, okay, so there's something weird in here. Right, you guys remember cello library? Like it's the same goddamn culture that created this thing. Right, and that's why it's so goddamn fucking cool. And at cello, we had a stream about this entire thing, so I'm gonna put it in the description. All right, so I really like things like that. I forgot close window, did I? Didn't I? Maybe. Didn't call close window, but I hope it will automatically destroy it anyway. But yeah, anyway, so that's about it, I think. Right, so RPython is kind of a cool idea. So unnecessary, but that's what makes it cool. Unnecessary but cool. Just like with cello, right? The best part was the Cello Define War, yeah. So it was actually kind of cool. Right. I don't know. So cool. People spend some time just to prove a point that Python is a real language and you can actually implement Python in itself. How many like modern JavaScript programmers can do something like that with JavaScript? Like, I'm sure it is possible to do something like that with JavaScript, but how many like modern JavaScript programmers will actually go to that extent to prove that? It's just like the culture is not there. Right. It is technically possible. It's possible, right? But it's just like we're lacking this engineering, you know, shitposting culture that is capable of doing that. So maybe there is something like a JS, like JS or whatever. Oh. So is a JavaScript interpreter in JavaScript, instead of trying to create an interpreter from scratch, SpiderMonkey is compiled into a LLVM and then in script and translate to how. So SpiderMonkey is this Mozilla JavaScript. Oh. Ooh. I don't really know how it works. But I mean, I guess culture is still there. Not quite, yeah. Kind of bizarre. But this thing feels just like more self-contained, if you know what I mean. Doesn't count. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Passes the Raylib test. Very cool. All right, I'm already streaming more than 2 hours actually, so that's my usual limit. And I think it's time for me to go, my friend. It's time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you all on the next recreational programming session with Mr. Azuzin. That's right. So I love you all. Mwah.